And now to the ongoing battle against coronavirus in Georgia, where numbers seem to be trending up after dropping over the weekend. We normally do see a drop in cases over the weekend. So let's bring you up to date here. State health officials reporting more than 1,300 new infections on Monday. There were 56 deaths. That's up from 52 on Sunday. For hospitalizations, 130 more people checked themselves into the hospital for COVID symptoms. And more delays when it comes to vaccine deliveries. If you're set to get your second dose today of Moderna's vaccine at the Doraville or Stonecrest sites in DeKalb County, you'll have to wait a little longer. Appointments are being rescheduled. The county's Board of Health says shipments were pushed back due to extreme weather across the country. We're told that people will be able to reschedule their shots once additional doses are available. Hundreds of students are still learning virtually, but there are still those who attend in-person classes. We're learning new information this morning about the central role that teachers may play when it comes to spreading the virus. Liza Lucas joining us from the newsroom with much more on this recent study. What did it find here, Liza?
Well, we're definitely getting more details here about teacher-to-student transmission, and it's got a local tie. The CDC studying 9 outbreaks in Marietta elementary schools and basically finding that among those 9, 8 were probable teacher-to-student transmissions. So basically the study says that it's likely that teachers and staff can play a central role in transmitting the virus in schools when social distancing is not maintained and when there's not proper mask wearing.
Across the 9 clusters, educators played an important role in the spread of COVID-19 in the schools. COVID-19 spread often occurred during in-person meetings or lunches and then subsequent spread in classrooms. The 2 main reasons for the spread of COVID-19 in these schools were inadequate physical distancing and mask adherence.
That was the head of the CDC right there, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, talking about the study during yesterday's White House press briefing. And basically, she added that when it came to these situations, they found when interviewing educators and parents that the classes were too full and the desks weren't able to be spread 6 feet apart. She also said that the virus may have been spreading during small group discussions. And a point we should mention, she said that COVID was also spreading from student to educators and student to student, but that was happening less frequently. Still worth mentioning this morning. Now, all of this comes to light after the CDC has issued its guidance regarding reopening schools, and they did bring up the issue of vaccinating teachers in this recent study. They said although not required for reopening schools, the vaccination should be considered as an additional layer of protection when available. Shiva.
All right, some interesting information there, Liza. Thank you. This is new this morning. Clayton County Schools says students will continue to learn remotely until COVID-19 cases trend downward. The 5th largest district in the state has not been opened since the beginning of the pandemic. The district telling us late last night after a school board meeting that based off data from February 13th, they cannot jeopardize the safety of employees and students. The district says the county has nearly 730 infections per 100,000 residents. So they are looking at community spread when deciding on whether to reopen. School leaders will continue to monitor the data. In the meantime, the district is vowing to give its employees a $2,000 pandemic bonus, which will be paid out next month. Chesley.